Hi there, my name is Jersey Drozd. I'm a cartoonist and teaching artist, and what I'm working on today is page 32 of Boulder and Fleet Adventures for Hire, a webcomic that I create at boulderandfleet.com. Links will more than likely be in the notes below this video. That is, unless it's embedded someplace else, which time I hope someone has given me attribution for the art. So what am I working in here? I'm working in Manga Studio 5, Clip Studio Paint on the Surface Pro 2. And I've got my coloring layer selected. It's time to get to work. You'll see that the page has been pre-flatted, or has been flatted, I should say, not pre-flatted, but it's flatted. So now I'm just going to go in and render everything. And I'll be happy to answer any questions or comments that you may have. You can post them into the chat on the Google Hangout event page. Otherwise, you can just sit back and enjoy the royalty-free music. And it is royalty-free music. Work fast today because I've only got about an hour to work on this. I'd like to get this done in the next hour. Hey, E. Good to see you. They're asking, this is for the folks who are watching the video on YouTube after the fact. How are you finding the size issue with the project file saved from MS5 so far? I'm wondering if it's not as bloated as Windows 8 or newer OS, or if they are still really large really quickly. It's been pretty consistent for me. Project files wind up being, well, I'll tell you what, let's open up a file. I don't think you're going to see the dialogue, but these pages are 2400 pixels by 2400 pixels. So we're talking about like at 300 dpi, this would be 8 by 8 inches, okay? And quite a few layer folders and layers in here. I don't have a count, but, you know, a pretty substantial amount of layers going on here. You can see that's just panel 2 right there. And I've hidden the lettering layers as well. So lots of layers. There's my 4 and the footer file, and then even the pencils. There's at least 3 layers for the pencils, plus 2 layers for the colors. And the project file tends to be in the neighborhood of, let's find out, comics. Oh, let's go back up to my inks folder. And we're looking at around 80 megabytes already, and a finished page is anywhere between 100 to 120 megabytes. So, pretty big files. Actually, I still think, if memory serves, that's smaller than Photoshop files. My RoboForce pages tended to be quite gigantic. There were some that were upwards of 300 megabytes. And actually, now that I think about it, some of those double-page spreads closed in on a gigabyte. So they're pretty big, but they're not, I mean, at least what I'm doing, they're not like super gigantic. And on this Surface Pro with 8 gigs of RAM, it's not having a problem dealing with them. Not too much of a problem anyway. Although I did notice that I was getting into some serious crunches when I had Chrome running in the background. So I was letting Google do photo backup off of my Surface, and it was slowing things down a lot. But I did notice the file size gets pretty big pretty fast. I mean, once I start penciling, the moment I've got my ink folders on there and the lettering files, it jumps from, I don't know, like 20 megabytes to 75 megabytes right away. But I don't know how that compares to your files, E. Feels like it's too dramatic. That color there. Blend this a little bit more. So much for getting this page done in an hour, because I'm already half hour in and I haven't even finished panel 1 yet. You know what the problem is, I think? I think I've taken too much time off from drawing, because I was so busy with the Kids Read Comics celebration over the last couple weeks. I didn't get as much drawing done as I usually do. And so I feel like I'm a little out of shape, and I'm getting back into the swing of things with Boulder and Fleet. It takes a while to get reacclimated to it and getting into like a rhythm. I've got the miner's clothes to do. I'm going to wind up putting a lot of work into catching up on my buffer with Boulder and Fleet this weekend. And I can be I can feel pretty confident that by the time the weekend's over, I'll be back into my rhythm again where I can crank out one of these pages, like the colors in the page, in an hour to an hour and a half. Trying to get back to my rule. I had a rule with myself that I was going to only spend about 4 hours on each page. I only got 4 hours a week budgeted to work on this webcomic. Love to put in more time on it. Sadly, that's not in the cards, and at least for now. Guys. All right, let's get some stains on these guys, huh? They are minors. They're getting schmutz all over their stuff. Let's go with... Time for aprons. Are we almost done with panel 1? That would be amazing. That would be so great. Sure looks like it. What I do left is the sapphire crystals. For that, I need to open up sapphire reference image. Color the crystals off of her hair. Boom. All right. Let's get some color holds going on, and we are done with panel 1. Yeah, I was thinking about putting holds on the crane. I don't think I'm gonna, but I will put it on the background. And let's put holds on the foreground rocks. And on the crystals, that I have saved as a color swatch. Kaboom. Crystals, soft inks. Get there we go. You know what? I did not put the hold on the soft inks. There we go. So let's put a hold on these. Maybe a little bit darker. Now put a hold on the lizards as well. Give them the same hold as the background and other soft inks as well. Yeah, just to push them back a tiny bit compared to the falling gantry here. I'm noticing something else I gotta fix real quick. See where the crystals are penetrating the rock? Should be some highlights there. So good thing I saved the flats layer, because then I can just go ahead and select this on my flats layer, go back to my colors layer, grab the pink, just put a few highlights in there, like so. Like the darker pink. Get a little bit more dimension, right? Cool. And that's panel 1. Now there's still a sound effect that I have to finish coloring. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do we do here? Not another thing wrong. Did not finish coloring this lizard's leg. So again, I'm going to go back to my flats layer, select that, colors layer. Not a huge area, so I'm not going to go ahead and render it quite as tightly as I did the other one, the other bits of the lizards. Put a little bit of a lighter color there to give it a bit more contrast from the lizard's face. Yeah, I don't like it. That's better. Okay, there's panel 1. Now, given that I only have about 12 minutes left of the live stream, I'm going to jump to panel 3 and work on that, because panel 2 and panel 4 are going to take a little bit of effort. There'll be quite a bit of rendering going on in there. Panel 3, though, should be pretty straightforward. Just grab. I'm going to grab page before, because I want to borrow some of the colors from that. Where are you? There you are. Pink on panel 1. So I want to repeat it. Create some color symmetries between the pages. That sounds fancy. I don't know. I'm just making it up. So let's see. I'm going to grab my perspective ruler. I'm going to trace 2 of the first lines. Then I'm going to grab my painterly brush. Get a little bit more drama in this burst. I mean, after all, this is Fleet trying to move an entire crane. And I could either say, this is going to be very, very tough because I'm just a small bird and this is a giant crane, or I could just try to amp up the drama with color, color contrast. Well, let's get rid of that ruler, shall we? And validated. No problem. We select the other selections in the other panels. There we go. Almost done. And at least finish 2 panels in 1 hour. Can I do that? Let's find out. All right, come on, Fleet. Your turn. And I'm going to go ahead and just lift colors from our previous page again for consistency. But also, like I said, to create those color harmonies between the pages, so it's not I'm not choosing different shading colors every page. I'm going kind of wacky with the color palette in recent pages. Oh, hey, Jonathan. Yes, this will show up in the chat. Well, your comment showed up in the Hangout event page, which is what I'm watching to see what people are saying. Am I using Manga Studio for all of my comic work? No Photoshop? That is correct. I am using only Manga Studio now. The only thing I'm doing, not digitally and not with Manga Studio, is the thumbnails. So like when I'm writing the story, I'm thumbnailing the book. I do that on paper. But from there on, I mean, even the lettering, all of it is done with Manga Studio now. I'm a convert. I love it. The only thing that I've gotten a little confused about or annoyed with Manga Studio is, and maybe somebody can help me out with this, is I have not found a way to crop an image. So like when I'm sharing my Boulder and Fleet pages online, and you share them on like Tapastic or something, it wants you to create a thumbnail. And I don't know how to crop a Manga Studio image to make a thumbnail. So I'm having to open it up and I downloaded some free image editing software like Krita, like GIMP, some other Fire Alpaca. And I'm just doing those kinds of image edits in that because it's really, or even like just in like the photo app on my Surface. You can crop in there. So I'll just export out of Manga Studio as a JPEG, crop it in my Photos app on my Surface, and then just use that as the thumbnail. But still not finding an easy way to do like really precise like pixel image editing, right? So like what I mean is like, sorry, I crop my image, get my thumbnail, but the thumbnail on what's it called? Tapastic has to be like a very certain dimension. It has to be 300 pixels wide. Well, most photo apps on tablets don't have that setting. You can't like mess with your pixel dimensions. Like, do you want it cropped or not, right? So I haven't found that. That's like the one thing where Manga Studio is not helping me out that much. But otherwise, I mean, it does everything I want it to do for drawing. So I love it quite a bit. And I heard that Photoshop is going to become more expensive soon, which is all the more reason, like, I'm glad I'm not locked in that world anymore, at any rate. All right, we're in the home stretch. And the exciting music plays. By the way, Google, this is royalty-free music. I checked. I got it from a royalty-free music site. I know your content ID thing is all just a computer algorithm, but come on. I'll go through that again. All right. Now let's put a color hold on that burst behind Fleet. And why don't we even go so far as to copy the color hold from previous page. Boom. And voila. Yeah, Jonathan saying in the chat, the crop is brutal in Manga Studio. Yeah, I don't even know how to work it. Can you do it? Seems like a pretty straightforward thing that we would need. I'm a little confused as to why we don't have it. Okay, crane. Put a color hold on that crane too. Push it back a little tiny bit, and let's make it more of a purple color hold. Less saturated. There we go. Okay, well, I'll have to be satisfied with that today. Like I said, I only had an hour, but I managed to color 2 panels. And guess what? This page will go live this coming weekend at boulderandfleet.com. So you'll be able to see the finished result. When I say this, he's going to be watching this way after. The date is Thursday, June 25th, 2015. The following, 3 days after that. So the 18th, 19th, as of, or see the finished page. You'll be able to read the whole comic. 31 more pages there at Boulder and Fleet. Thanks everybody for hanging out, chatting with me while I worked on this in the near future. And if you are wondering that you want to follow up with after the fact, you can follow me at Jersey. Follow me on Google Plus. If you're watching this on the Hangout, then you're no doubt you see my account. You can go ahead and I'll be posting more things about Boulder. So send me there. All right, everybody, I'm going to kill the chat. So thanks for downloading or watching. Joe's boulderandfleet.com and Jersey on Twitter.